up here and say today. It's not what I thought I was going to get up here and say today. And I know because you came to me and said, Tiffany, you need to tell us exactly how many inches long those young lady skirts need to be. Tiffany, seriously, can I braid my hair or not? Because that verse is so confusing. Tiffany, how much money can I have in my shopping allowance? Because I'm seeing all these pictures of these orphans in Africa and I'm feeling a little guilty about my 2 walk-in closets. Tiffany, let's settle this tattoo debate once and for all. And I tell you, I tried, I studied, I had a lot of the same questions, I prayed, I searched, but I'm not finding the answers to those questions in my Bible, not in blanket terms anyway. I will tell you over here, in Tiffany's humble opinion, that the fingertip rule is a good one because it's honest. But the answers I am finding are, does it point to God or self? Does it point to God or an ugly finger at a sister? And if not to God, spray on less perfume. If not to God, don't pierce that body part. It's that practical. It's that literal. And I think that's why this topic, more than any other, has so dramatically altered my daily life because it affects something that we all do every single day. But to my married sisters, there's another 3x5 card. There's another question that we have to ask because 1 Peter 3:3 is in the context of wives, right? So that second question under why am I adorning is this. Really for because there's only 2 holy answers. Your God or your husband. That's it. And I have to confess to you, I have struggled. I have erred with this one in my life. I might be the only woman in the room who has ever done that, but really, for whom are you wearing that dress for? Your husband or the man in the cubicle next to you at work, with whom you spend more time than your husband? Who are you wearing that makeup for? Your husband? Or the guy at the grocery store who might flirt with you a little bit when you had a really long day and give you a little boost? There's only 2 right answers. Your God, your husband. And as we answer honestly and adorn accordingly, you might find that you have to adorn less. Or you may end up adorning differently. Because it's the guy at work that goes for the natural look and your husband's more into the lipstick and fake hair. Or as you start adorning for the creator of the universe, you might need to step it up a little bit. And that's a controversial topic. Isn't it? Talk radio and Christian books and Oprah, you name it. Wives letting themselves go. Is that okay or not okay? I took this so many ways in which we can let this go. You know, we can let go of the exterior walls or those interior structural walls. And that's where I erred with this. After I gave birth to my son, I got in the bad habit of making the exterior walls look pretty, but I wasn't eating like I should. I wasn't exercising like I should. And I had to change that behavior. Because studies show that there's a strong correlation between wives who let themselves go and wives who let the marriage go. So if you're seeing red flags that you're not caring for your temple like you should, you may not be caring for your marriage like you should. And what it boils down to is that beautifying and adorning for your husband is an easy way to respect our very visually minded husbands, as Ephesians 5 says. And I hear how controversial that sounds, right? But we also see it in Song of Solomon chapter 4. Go home and read that, and you'll see that it isn't just the bride's natural beauty that's wanted. It's also her red lips, her veils, her garments, her perfume, her jewelry. The groom praises her adornments, just as he does her natural beauty. And we military wives, there's a lot of us here today because we're home here at Helen Street. We get this because we get green ramp adornments. Our husbands come home from war and we spend a week waxing, polishing, cutting, shopping, trimming, so that when that man gets off that plane, he can have that our husbands can appreciate that life more than one night every 2 to 3 years. And Tiffany needs to look at my heart like God does. Like 1 Samuel 16:7 says, only man looks at outward appearances, but God looks at the heart. He needs to be looking at my heart, not my hair in the morning. Of course he should. Of course he should, but I'm not talking to them about what they should do today. I'm talking to us about what we should do today. And what I'm telling you is, because sometimes we just need to hear this out loud, it's okay to beautify and adorn yourself for your husband. And number 2, it's clear in Scripture and creation that our God can use perishable beauty and adornment for His glory, to point to Him for His good, but only if we're given all of it to Him. So in conclusion, what's the answer here? Does John Wesley have the answer? Pearls? Not okay. Braids? Okay. Gold? No way. Silver? Okay. That legalistic set of rules that we have enforced upon each other for centuries, that is not helping. That and subjective words like. So the answer, ladies, is to ask the bigger questions. Answer them honestly. Why am I adorning? For whom am I adorning? Answer really from those secret hidden places and adorn accordingly every day. Otherwise, we're just going to become a park of Christmas trees. Beautifully ornamented Christmas trees with lights and glitter and tinsel all on a dead tree. And I don't want to fellowship with a bunch of dead trees. I'd rather fellowship with a room of Indian brides. I think I used this example at Country Club years ago, but it fits here, so pretend like you haven't heard it. See, in India, the night before a woman gets married, she gets together with the other important women in her life, her mother, mother-in-law, sisters, and they adore her. Specifically with henna. They'll paint on the intricacies of henna on her hand and palms and feet and ankles. And somewhere within the henna, they will write and hide her groom's name. And then the next night, on her wedding night, her groom will come to her and he will delight in her adornments. And he will search the intricacies of that henna to find his name. Because as tradition says, he's not blessed with any other goodness until he finds his name.